What's up, guys? Josh from Strength Side. This is a full body strengthening routine for beginners. All these exercises are going to be done on the ground, and we're going to be working through full ranges of motion to promote better mobility in your body. If you are a little bit more advanced, this can also be a great way to warm up as well. So we're going to start on the hands and the knees. I want the knees right under the hips, the hands under the shoulders, and we're just going to lift the knees a few inches off the ground here, and we're going to hold. This is called a quadruped hover, and you're really just pressing the ground away, trying to activate the core. We're trying to put more weight into our shoulders rather than our legs here, right? And that's going to really get the core going. I want you to try to protract the shoulder blades as much as you can, pushing them to the sides of the rib cage, and lean forward a little bit. So that was 2 holds for 10 seconds each. We are going to do one more, and as you can see here, I'm just kind of wiggling my body. These are meant to start firing the nervous system, start activating all the muscles of your body to get you warmed up for the next exercises we are about to do. Next is the downward dog press. We're going to start in the quadruped hover that we just did, and then you're going to press your chest back towards your knees. We're going to start with bent knees. This is really great for opening up the thoracic spine, the upper part of the back, really trying to push the ground away as hard as you can, and I'm pushing my head and chest towards my knees. Now, after we do 5, we're going to switch to the straight leg version. Right? So now we're going to straighten the knees. We're going to try to get those heels down to the ground. We're still pushing away with the ground. We're still pushing the chest towards the thighs. This is really going to start opening up the hamstrings and the calves here. If you can't get your heels all the way down to the ground, that's okay. But each rep, we're trying to push a little bit further into that position. Okay, take a second to recover here, wiggle the wrists around, fix your man bun if you need to, and we're going to hop right into the next exercise, which is the fire hydrant. So I'm going to prioritize keeping my torso and my hips very straight and in alignment here. I'm going to lift the knee directly to the side. I'm going to keep the knee at 90 degrees, and I'm going to keep my ankle at the same height as my knee. I'm going to really squeeze the side of my hip for each rep. We are doing about 10 reps. I'm not the best counter, so that's why I say about. On the last rep, I usually like to hold anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds and really try to squeeze that muscle. So I'm interested, guys, do you enjoy these voiceovers more, or do you enjoy if I speak live to the camera? On this particular day, it was a bit too noisy and windy out to get any good audio, but I'm interested. What do you guys prefer? Or maybe you don't prefer either. Comment below, let me know, and if you really don't care, you can comment something like bananas. Let's say bananas for whatever. And last rep. So if you can't already tell, we are kind of switching between lower body to upper body movements. So as you do one, the other muscle groups have a chance to recover. And we're going to need it in this one because this movement is challenging. It's a down dog to a lean forward pike. Start with your chest pushed back as we were doing in the downward dog, and then lean yourself forward, bringing all your weight over your hands. Keep your back rounded. We're really trying to protract the shoulders in this, and then we'll go back to the starting position with the chest pushed back. You can do that with bent knees like I'm doing, or with straight knees is fine. The important part of this exercise is that we're trying to get all the weight over the hands. This is like a beginner handstand. And as always, when I put out beginner material, it does not mean that it's easy. This is challenging for me. Beginner material usually just means that it's basics and fundamentals that will hopefully lead into more advanced movements in the future. Okay, last rep. Your shoulders, forearms, wrists should be really feeling it right here. Take yourself a little bit of break. And if you need a longer break, feel free to pause the video and take a longer break. No worries in that. We had a little camera mishap here, but we kept going because we're professionals. Now, we hop right into a donkey kick. So with the donkey kick, you're lifting your heel up to the sky as much as you can. But the main thing that I'm focusing on here is keeping my core tight and not extending through my lower back. That's the main problem you'll see with these if you watch people do them, is they're getting all the extension through their spine rather than the hip. We want that hip to extend, that butt to squeeze, those glutes really turn on to do this movement, and we want to keep that lower back as neutral as we can. Now in the beginning, you'll probably get a little bit of extension in the spine. Don't worry about it too much. Just keep on squeezing that core, pushing the ground away, and trying to get all that extension from the hip. Great job on those donkey kicks. Now we are going to hop into push-up eccentrics, which is the lowering portion of a push-up. And everybody knows push-ups are how you get jacked, man, right? So we're gonna start in a strong plank position. You're gonna lower, slow and controlled down until your stomach meets the ground, and then you can just press yourself back up on your knees. Now, if you need to do this in the kneeling position, that's totally fine. Go ahead and do that. So once again, we start in a strong plank. We're really putting a big priority on keeping the whole body line straight. And then we're gonna lower, and we're gonna try to get that hip and chest to meet the ground at the same time. I'm gonna move my elbows straight back. We're not flaring the elbows out to the side. And the stronger you become in these push-up lowering motions, the easier a full range of motion push-up becomes. Let's go ahead and smoothly roll onto your back, as smoothly as possible. And we're going to do some glute bridges. So put those feet right underneath the knees, and you're gonna press the hips up to the sky. Simple exercise, but what I really want you guys to focus on is keeping that core tight and trying to keep a little bit of posterior tilt in your pelvis. Don't extend through your lower back, and push into the ground through your whole foot. I'm talking the heel, I'm talking the big toe, and the outside of the foot. As always, you can hold on the last rep. I made a super funny joke here to the camera. I can't quite remember what it was, but I sure thought it was funny. So the next exercise is heel taps. You're gonna bring the knees right over the hips, keeping the knee at about a 90-degree angle. You're gonna tap one heel down at a time. Now, the priority of this exercise, the main focus is keeping the lower back flat down into the ground. So I'm really gonna engage the front of my core here, and I'm gonna keep that whole back flat as I do this. This is gonna be really, really good for core activation, but also coordinating the core to work while my hip is working. So now after we do 10, we're gonna do another 10 with straightening the knee. Now this becomes more challenging because the lever gets longer, and because I can't remember what the other reason was. I'm gonna go ahead and point my toe. Oh, it's because the hip has to work through more range of motion. That's right. I'm gonna point my toe, and I'm just gonna focus on that core, keeping that lower back flat. One of the challenging things with an at-home, no-equipment workout is working your back muscles, but we're gonna accomplish that by flipping over on our belly, and we're gonna do some W's and some Y's. So I start on my belly, and I bring my elbows to 90 degrees in this W position. I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades back, and then I'm gonna lift my elbows off the ground. I'm gonna try to keep my wrist at about the same height as my elbow. And my priority here is to drive the movement through scapular retraction. So through pulling the shoulder blades back and then lifting. And as you lift, you should feel the front side of your chest open up. Now, another thing to consider here is just trying, once again, to not get too much extension through the lower back. So you want to squeeze the butt a little bit, try to keep that spine neutral. And when you do that, you should be accomplishing a lot of the muscle activation coming from the upper back. That was 10 reps, and now we're going to move to the Y position. The Y position is all about strengthening the traps here. So I'm going to flip my thumb up to drive some external rotation of the shoulder, and then I'm going to lift my arm, keeping my elbow straight as high as I can. I'm going to try to keep a neutral spine by squeezing the butt, but you'll probably get a little bit of extension here in the lower back, and that's okay. Most people are fairly disconnected from their traps, especially the mid to low traps. And that can make this exercise quite challenging. For me, it took me a while to get the hang of this exercise, but once you start to get some good activation patterning from those lower traps, your shoulders tend to feel much better, your posture improves, all the shoulder stability really just goes through the roof. On the last rep, you can hold 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, flip on over to your back, and we're going to end with something fun here. At least I think it's fun. You're going to start laying down on your back, and then we're going to come to a standing position through a couple different patterns here. So the first one, I just do a sit-up, and then I put my hands down beside my hips, and I push myself forward into a squat. So sit up, hands down, feet come up, and I press forward into a squat. I stand up, and I reverse the motion back down. Now in this one, I believe I'm going to use one hand. Yes, one hand. So with this exercise, we're kind of just starting to explore different ways of getting to standing from laying on the back. We're trying to unlock new patterns in the body, use the body in a little bit different ways. Now right here, I believe I go no hands. I'm saying that to the camera. No, ooh, look, no hands. Not the smoothest. I'm using a lot of momentum here, but that's okay. We're just trying to do different things, different ways to get on up. Guys, I had a fun time chilling with you. We hit a lot of different muscle groups, a lot of different movements in just 13 minutes. If you're feeling good, repeat it. Do it 2 to 3 times. If you're just getting into stuff like this, just do it once, but then see if you can work towards 2 or 3 in the future. If you're finding this routine useful and it's right up your alley, comment below, let me know, and maybe I will make more just like this in the future. Guys, like the video if you enjoyed it. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe to Strength Side, and as always,
that's it.
Did you have fun? Did you have a fun time? It was really great sharing this experience with you today. Just kidding. Let's get yoked. Peace.
Peace.